From UPI to Aadhaar to Digi Yatra, India's digital infrastructure is expanding faster than ever. But as these platforms grow, one big question keeps coming back. Who owns your personal data and who's accountable if something goes wrong? Hello and welcome to ThePrint. I am Ruchi Bhattar and I bring to you this question that is now at the center of a legal fight in the Delhi's High Court. At the heart of it are two players. The Digi Yatra Foundation, which runs India's optional facial recognition based air travel system, and Data Evolve Solutions, a Hyderabad startup that helped build it. By September 2025, DigiYatra had reached 16 million users with about 30,000 new signups daily according to the government data. What began as a contract dispute has evolved into a fight over who owns the DigiYatra platform itself, including its software code, digital architecture, and even the data that powers it. And this isn't just about a few lines of code. It's about the control of sensitive personal data, including facial recognition, details of millions of passengers who use DigiYatra every month. The system promises convenience. You walk into the airport, scan your face, and breeze through security. No boarding pass or ID required. But this convenience comes at a cost. It depends on collecting and processing your biometric data. And now, with the two companies fighting in court, that data and the infrastructure handling it has effectively become part of an intellectual property dispute. Now, what's before the Delhi High Court? Justice Subramaniam Prasad, who is hearing the matter, has framed four key questions for trial set to begin in December 2025. First, whether Digi Yatra Foundation is the rightful owner of Digi Yatra's central ecosystem under its 2021 agreement with Data Evolved. Second, whether it holds intellectual property rights over the software built by Data Evolve. And third, whether Data Evolve infringed those rights. Lastly, fourth, and whether DigiYatra misused any IP belonging to the Data Evolve. At stake is the control of the entire platform, the code, the servers, and possibly the biometric database. Let me give you the backstory. The partnership began in 2021 when Data Evolve won a government startup challenge under Niti Aayog's Atal Innovation Mission. It was selected to help build the DigiYatra ecosystem and app. But the relationship soured after the allegations that the software company's promoter was involved in diverting over 36 crores in another project. In early 2024, the foundation cut ties and asked for a complete handover, including source codes, system credentials, and control over the platform. Data Evolve refused, saying it hadn't been paid fully and it still owned the software. The dispute then split across in two cities, Hyderabad and Delhi, until the Delhi High Court took a decisive step in March 2024. Justice Pratibha M. Singh of the Delhi High Court, in an ex parte injunction order, directed Data Evolve to hand over all technical assets to Digi Yatra Foundation, including blockchain source codes, AWS credentials, and domain access. Calling Digi Yatra a critical infrastructure platform, she said any disruption would harm public interest and national aviation operations. Her order restored full control of the system to the foundation pending trial. To ensure compliance, she appointed the Joint Director and IT Head of the Delhi High Court as local commissioners, authorizing them to inspect Data Evolve's Hyderabad premises, collect devices, and videograph proceedings with police assistance if needed. But the deeper question of who owns the platform and its data remains unsolved. Now here's where it gets complicated. DigiYatra's privacy policy says user data is encrypted, stored only on passenger's phone, shared temporarily with the airport, and deleted within 24 hours after the flight. But according to Internet Freedom Foundation, it's not that simple. IFF found that while biometric data may be purged after 24 hours, other categories like travel history, DigiYatra ID, and verification records can be retained up to 30 days. So, if the data is supposed to vanish after a day, why are we still fighting over it? Privacy experts call this a technical illusion, a policy promise that sounds neat but doesn't reflect the full data life cycle. Let's come to the broader privacy question. Digi Yatra Foundation says everything is transparent. Union Civil Aviation Minister K. Ram Mohan Naidu told Parliament in 2024 that there is no central storage of passenger data and that privacy is paramount. But MPs like Shashi Tharoor have questioned these assurances. He pointed out that DigiYatra's policy also allows users to share data for value-added services like cab bookings or airport promotions, which may involve third-party sharing. If the system doesn't store the data, how do these services access it at all? That's where the gap between privacy assurance and practical data sharing becomes glaring. Because Digi Yatra Foundation is a Section 8 private company, it isn't directly under RTI or public accountability mechanisms. Privacy and data right experts note that sensitive biometric data collected under a government-backed system is now part of a private litigation, something that wouldn't have happened if it were a government-run body. In a sense, the governance systems and protections that apply to public institutions don't apply here, and that means that millions of flyers' biometric data is being fought over in court as part of a commercial dispute. What's the larger picture now? Beyond the courtroom, this case presents a growing dilemma in India's digital future. Public systems increasingly depend on private technology from apps and databases to AI models. But when private companies build and manage these platforms, who ultimately controls the citizens' data? The Delhi High Court's verdict could set a major precedent, determining how India defines intellectual property in public digital infrastructure and, more importantly, whether citizens' personal data remains theirs even when stored in privately managed systems. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about who owns the DigiYatra app. It's about who owns your face, your data, and your digital identity. With that, thank you for watching.